morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACD's moving averages, today's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Thursday the 27th of May. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar, bearish start to the day here. Going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 39,346 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 48.40. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to recover and move back through to 40,000 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 48.84 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 43,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 42,378. Bitcoin would need plenty of support, however, to break out from the 38.2% fib at 41,592. Ready to move through the pivot, we'll bring the first major support level of 37,807 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 36,000 levels. Second major support level of 36,313 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we have a widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, supporting this early morning pullback. On the EMAs, the 50 is holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, so inconclusive there, so keep an eye on that. So key would be to move through the pivot at 39,346 and move back through to 40,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that and support levels are in play. Moving across to Ethereum against US dollar, it's a particularly bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Ethereum move back through the pivot at 2817 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 2987. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high, 2913.56. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 3,000 to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, Ethereum should test the 23.6% fib at 3369 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 3083. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the 38.2% fib at 2740 and the first major support level at 2720 back into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 2,600 levels. Second major support level sits at 2550. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, supporting the early upside. On the EMAs, however, the 50 has closed on the 200 and widened from the 100, suggesting further upside ahead. So key will be to move back through the pivot at 2817 and break back through to 2900 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will remain in play. Across the Litecoin against US dollar, also a particularly bearish start to the day. Going to need to see Litecoin move back through the pivot at 194 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 209. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high. Those at 204.48. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 210 to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rebound and rally, should see Litecoin test resistance at 230 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 219. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the first major support level 184 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid the 62% fib at 174. Second major support level sits at 169. Looking at the MACD, widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, supporting this early downside. On the EMA, the 50 has flattened on the 100, but has not narrowed to suggest downside ahead, so need to keep an eye on that through the early part of the day. So key will be to move back through the pivot at 194 and back through to 200 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will remain in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against US dollar, also bearish, tracking the broader market. Going to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 1.0172 to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 1.0853. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high, 1.06941. Barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 1.1 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP target 1.2s before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1.1375. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.9650 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.90 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.8969. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bearish histograms this morning after a failed bullish cross, supporting this early morning downside. On the EMAs, the 50 has widened against the 100 and narrowed on the 200, however. So I need to keep an eye on that. That's suggesting a possible recovery. So key will be to move back through the pivot at 1.0172 and break out from yesterday's high 1.06941 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.